Motown made them stars, but leaving Motown made them legends. One man left broke, living in a bread truck, dodging the IRS. He came back with 2 Grammys and 6 million records sold. Another was 16 years old when he walked out. He went on to make the best-selling album in human history. 12 artists, 12 comebacks. And by the time we hit number 1, you'll never hear this music the same way again. Let's go. Number 12, the Isley Brothers. The Isley Brothers had been on Motown since 1965. This Old Heart of Mine was a solid hit. But here's what nobody talks about. Motown was giving the Isley Brothers leftovers. Songs Holland Dozier Holland had written, but nobody else wanted. The Isleys complained loudly. Motown didn't listen. So in 1968, they walked out of Hitsville, USA, and started their own label, T-Neck Records. No label boss controlling their sound, no assembly line, no leftovers, just the Isleys, making exactly the music they wanted. The very first single on T-Neck, It's Your Thing, 1969, number 2 on the pop charts, number 1 R&B. Grammy Award for Best Rhythm and Blues Vocal Performance by a Duo, Group, or Chorus. But they were just getting started. In 1973, they added younger brothers Ernie and Marvin, plus brother-in-law Chris Jasper. Ernie's guitar playing was razor sharp, equal to any rock guitarist alive. They released That Lady, then Summer Breeze, then Fight the Power. In 1975, Fight the Power hit number 1 on the R&B charts, and their album, The Heat Is On, became the first Isley Brothers album to reach number 1 on the pop LP chart. 2 million copies. Motown gave them leftovers. They built a dynasty. That's what freedom sounds like. Number 11, The Miracles, without Smokey Robinson. In 1972, Smokey Robinson left The Miracles. He'd been their lead singer, chief songwriter, and soul for 17 years. Everyone expected the group to collapse without him. The music industry said it was over. Music executives wrote their obituary before they'd even recorded a note. I'm just a love machine. But the Miracles didn't quit. They held auditions and found 19-year-old Billy Griffin from Baltimore, a Miracles superfan who'd idolized Smokey his entire life. Griffin was young, hungry, unproven, and completely electric. For their first album without Smokey, Motown hired every great writer on their roster. 8 producers competing for a hit. It was a battle royale. Nothing stuck until 1975. I'm just a love machine. The Miracles recorded Love Machine, a funky, irresistible disco-driven track. Bobby Rogers opened with a deep-throated growl that stopped people cold. The song was so catchy, so undeniable, that it took 20 weeks just to climb to number 1. But it got there. Love Machine hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in March 1976. It became the biggest-selling single in the entire Miracles catalog. With or without Smokey Robinson, 4.5 million records sold. Smokey himself said to the doubters, "All you have to do is listen." They listened! I'm just a love machine. Number 10, The Commodores, without Lionel Richie. Joy and pain. In 1982, Lionel Richie left the Commodores, their lead singer, their hitmaker, their star, gone solo. The music world wrote them off instantly. How do you replace Lionel Richie? The short answer? You don't. You do something else entirely. Sing your songs forevermore. The Commodores went through 2 interim lead vocalists before finding J.D. Nicholas, a British musician who'd been with the funk band Heatwave, Nobody knew his name. Nobody was impressed. And then 1984 hit. Marvin Gaye was shot dead on April 1st. Jackie Wilson had already suffered a devastating heart attack in 1975 that left him brain damaged. Two of the greatest souls in history, gone. Oh, I bet you'll pull a cry. Walter Clyde Orange of the Commodores sat down and started writing a tribute to Marvin, to Jackie, to the music they'd given the world. He called it Night Shift. The first verse called Marvin by name, the second verse called Jackie by name, and J.D. Nicholas sang it with a warmth and ache that broke hearts across the world. I know you're not alone. Night Shift hit #1 on the R&B charts, stayed there for 4 weeks, won the Commodores their first and only Grammy Award, Best R&B Vocal Performance by a Duo or Group. You set the world on fire. After years of being written off, after losing their biggest star, they won their first Grammy without him. That's a comeback, period. And we'll be there at your... Number 9, Smokey Robinson. I'm gonna beg you to stay. Smokey Robinson left the Miracles in 1972. But here's the twist. Smokey never left Motown. He became vice president of Motown Records. He was running the company while also trying to be a solo artist. For years, his solo work was steady, but not spectacular. Cruisin' in 1979 was a top 5 hit. Beautiful, romantic, perfectly Smokey. But then came 1981. Smokey connected with outside producers George Tobin and Mike Piccirillo, a rare move for a Motown executive. They worked on a song so simple, so elegant, so perfectly crafted that even Smokey couldn't believe it. Being with you, just a man, in love, saying what love feels like out loud. No tricks, no production gimmicks, just that voice, that impossibly smooth, ageless, heaven-sent voice. I'm gonna beg you to stay. The song hit #2 on the US Billboard Hot 100, and then crossed the Atlantic. In the United Kingdom, Being With You hit #1. His first solo UK #1, his second UK #1 overall. The vice president of Motown Records was also topping charts on 2 continents. Bob Dylan once called Smokey Robinson America's greatest living poet. Being With You is why. Number 8, The Four Tops. Ain't no woman like the one I've got. Here's what Motown did to the Four Tops. When Gordy moved Motown from Detroit to Los Angeles in 1972, he left the Four Tops behind. After 8 years, after I Can't Help Myself, after Reach Out I'll Be There, after Bernadette, he just left them in Detroit. Sight for sore eyes to see. No invitation to come west, no plan for their future. So the Four Tops made their own plan. They signed with ABC Dunhill Records and were handed to songwriters Dennis Lambert and Brian Potter. Ain't no woman like the one I've got. Lambert and Potter looked at Levi Stubbs and knew this voice, this incredible, powerful, gospel-drenched voice. They wrote Keeper of the Castle, their first pop top 10 hit since Bernadette in 1967. 6 years in the wilderness, one song to announce they were back. But they weren't done. The very next single was Ain't No Woman Like the One I've Got. Levi started the song. Lawrence Payton took his verse. Obie Benson sang his. Duke Fakir closed it out. All 4 voices, all 4 personalities, pure Four Tops magic. The song hit #4 on the Billboard Hot 100, #1 on the Cashbox Top 100, gold record, their most successful post-Motown hit. Sing harmony. Motown abandoned them in Detroit, and Detroit sent them back to the top of the charts.
Make her happy, doesn't take a lot. You know that's what.
If you're locked into this one, most people scrolling past these songs have no idea what it took to make them. We digs that history back up, one record at a time. The subscribe button costs nothing, and it means you won't miss the next one. Number 7. Gladys Knight and the Pips.
He said he's going. He said he's going.
Gladys Knight didn't want to go to Motown. Let that sink in. When the Pips convinced her to sign with the label in 1966, Gladys resisted. "I didn't want to go," she later said. The Pips wanted to go because we'd been in the industry so long.
Back to fine. Going back to fine.
She was right to be cautious. At Motown, the label had a caste system. Diana Ross at the top, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Gladys Knight, and the Pips, middle of the list.
The world he left behind.
They wanted everything from you, Gladys said, but we weren't on the top of their list. They complained about unpaid royalties, about getting songs other artists had passed on. And in February 1973, they signed with Motown Records.
I'll be with him. I know you will.
A small New York label. No star power, no machine behind them. Just a team at Motown who told them, "We're going to kill for you." The very second single they released on Motown, Midnight Train to Georgia.
The dreams don't always come true.
Originally written as Midnight Plane to Houston by Jim Weatherly, about a country singer heading home, Gladys changed it, changed the title, changed the feeling. She recorded it at Venture Sound Studios in Somerville, New Jersey. And when the Pips added those call and response vocals, magic happened.
Once knew, oh yes it did, he said it would.
Midnight Train to Georgia hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Stayed there for 2 weeks. Won the Grammy for Best R&B Vocal Performance by a Duo or Group.
It's going back to fine. Ooh.
Barry Gordy later admitted to Gladys, his own son, called him upset that she'd gotten away. She didn't get away. She got free.
I'm always leaving.
Number 6. The Temptations.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home.
This one is different, because the Temptations didn't have to leave Motown to have their greatest comeback. They just had to survive long enough to record one song.
Mama, I'm depending on you.
By 1971, the Temptations were in chaos. Eddie Kendricks was gone. Paul Williams was dying. David Ruffin was fired years before. The group that had given Motown My Girl and Ain't Too Proud to Beg was falling apart.
And when he died, only left a
Producer Norman Whitfield had already experimented with psychedelic soul, but in 1972, he went all the way. The original version of Papa Was a Rollin' Stone was recorded by The Undisputed Truth. It peaked at number 63 and disappeared. Whitfield begged Barry Gordy for another chance. He wanted the Temptations to record it with a completely new arrangement. Paul Reiser wrote the strings, influenced by the Shaft soundtrack. Dark, cinematic, tense. That bass line entered first. Just 3 notes, over and over.
Bad talk going around town saying that Papa had 3 outside children.
The Temptations themselves hated it. The intro ran nearly 4 minutes with no vocals. "They're sidelining us," the members complained, but they recorded it anyway.
Mama just hold her head and say,
Papa Was a Rollin' Stone hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in December 1972. Both sides of the single won Grammy Awards. It was the last great recording made in Motown's legendary Studio A in Detroit. A building that was about to be abandoned as Motown moved west. The Temptations gave Motown's Detroit era its perfect goodbye, and did it with a song they almost refused to record. Number 5. Lionel Richie.
my door. Hello.
Lionel Richie spent over a decade with the Commodores. Brick House, Easy, 3 Times a Lady, Sail On, hit after hit, tour after tour, Jackson 5 opener to headliner.
And in my dreams I've kissed your lips.
But Berry Gordy had a unique management style. Every time Richie came to him with a new #1 hit, Gordy wouldn't congratulate him. He'd say, "That's great, but what's next?"
I want to tell you so much.
Richie later said, Berry Gordy had a wonderful way of pitting all the children against each other. That pressure created a machine, a hit-making machine. And in 1982, Lionel Richie turned that machine toward himself. He left the Commodores and went solo, still on Motown, still with Berry Gordy.
I love you.
But now it was his name on the album cover. Truly, hit #1, Grammy for Best Male Vocalist. Then, All Night Long, #1 again. Then, Hello.
'Cause I wonder where you are.
A blind art teacher, a girl who sculpts his face from memory. The music video cost a fortune and changed the game. Hello hit #1 and stayed there for 6 straight weeks.
Are you somewhere feeling lonely?
Between 1981 and 1989, Lionel Richie had 9 #1 singles, 9 consecutive years with a #1 hit. A music business record. He co-wrote We Are the World with Michael Jackson in 1985.
Come on, Ben, right here.
Raised $50 million for famine relief in Ethiopia. His album, Can't Slow Down, became the best-selling album in Motown history at the time.
I love you.
Motown competition made him sharp. Going solo made him unstoppable.
Yeah.
Number 4, Diana Ross.
Turn me inside out and
Diana Ross discovered something shocking in 1980. After 2 decades with Motown, after the Supremes, after 12 #1 hits, after movies, TV specials, and world tours,
upside down. Boy, you turn me.
she checked her accounts. She was worth $250,000. She had made millions for Motown. Millions. But after 2 decades of contracts, royalty splits, and label fees, $250,000. She was livid.
But no one makes me feel like you do.
RCA Records came calling with a $20 million offer. 7 years, full production control, her name in lights. At the time, it was the biggest recording deal in history. But before she could leave, one more Motown album was waiting.
My heart for you, that's the bottom line. Upside.
Diana, produced by Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards of Chic. Motown executives hated the Chic production. Too funky, too raw. They remixed it without telling Nile and Bernard. But the song Upside Down leaked to radio DJs, and the DJs lost their minds.
The love that I need, I cherish the moment.
Upside Down hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Then, I'm Coming Out. Top 10 again? One more Motown single, Endless Love with Lionel Richie. Recorded at 3 a.m. in a Reno hotel room after a show. They didn't even get along. But Endless Love hit #1.
Upside down. Boy, you turn me.
9 weeks, her 6th and final Motown #1. Then she signed with RCA and kept climbing. $250,000 worth of work that became priceless.
Round, upside down.
Number 3, Stevie Wonder. Here's the thing about Stevie Wonder. He never actually left Motown, but what he did was more powerful than leaving. He held them hostage. When Stevie turned 21 in 1972, Motown finally paid him the money he'd earned as a child star, but they only paid him $1 of the $30 million they owed him. $1. Stevie renegotiated, got creative control, won the right to own his publishing. But by 1975, his contract was up again. And this time, Stevie wasn't just negotiating, he was threatening to quit music entirely. He'd been invited to Ghana by the president to work with disabled children. He started planning his farewell concert. Gordy heard about it and panicked. Arista Records and Epic Records were circling. Both wanted Stevie badly. Gordy called in his lawyers and made an offer that had never been made before in music history. 7 years, 7 albums, $37 million. More than Elton John and Neil Diamond's contracts combined. Time magazine wrote about it. Stevie stayed. And then he made Songs in the Key of Life, a double album. An EP included 21 songs. Paul Simon won the Grammy Album of the Year in 1975 and thanked Stevie Wonder for not releasing an album that year. Songs in the Key of Life won Album of the Year in 1977. Sir Duke was a #1 hit, a tribute to Duke Ellington, Ella Fitzgerald, Count Basie, Louis Armstrong, and Glenn Miller. A blind man saw music history more clearly than anyone alive. Motown paid $37 million to keep him. He was worth every single penny. Number 2. Marvin Gaye. By 1980, Marvin Gaye was living in a bread truck in Hawaii. Let that image settle in for a second. The Prince of Soul. The man who made What's Going On, the voice of a generation, living in a converted bread truck, hiding from the IRS, $4 million in back taxes. His second marriage was collapsing, his cocaine addiction was consuming him. Motown released his last album in our lifetime without his permission, edited it, changed it, released it before he was done. He called it Motown's edit of an unfinished Picasso painting. He vowed never to record for Motown again. And he didn't. A Belgian concert promoter found Marvin in London, broken, depressed, barely functioning, offered him a place to stay in Ostend, Belgium. CBS Records signed him in March 1982. 3-album deal, bought him out of Motown. No one knew if Marvin still had it. He sat down in a small Belgian studio with a Roland TR-808 drum machine and wrote Sexual Healing. His friend David Ritz showed up with the title. Marvin built the song around it in hours. The label head heard the demo and called it immediately. Sexual Healing won 2 Grammys in 1983. Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. Best R&B Song. His first Grammy wins in a career that already spanned over 20 years. The album, Midnight Love, became the most successful album of Marvin's entire career. Triple platinum, 6 million copies worldwide. He'd been living in a bread truck in Hawaii. 18 months later, he had the biggest album of his life. Number 1. Michael Jackson. In 1975, Michael Jackson was 16 years old. He'd already spent his entire childhood at Motown. I Want You Back, ABC, I'll Be There. The world already knew his voice, but Motown owned the name Jackson 5. They owned the sound, they owned the brand, and Michael was starting to realize they owned him too. The Jacksons voted to leave Motown for Epic Records in 1975. Jermaine Jackson was married to Berry Gordy's daughter. He stayed at Motown. The brothers split in 2. At Epic, the group became the Jacksons, and Michael started writing his own music for the first time. In 1977, he landed a role in The Wiz alongside Diana Ross. He met Quincy Jones on that set, and everything changed. In 1978, Michael went into the studio with Quincy Jones, not as a Jackson 5, not as a group, as Michael Jackson, solo, fully in control. Off the Wall was released August 10, 1979. Michael wrote, "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough" himself, produced it himself.
Don't stop till you get enough.
It hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, his first solo #1 as an adult. The album sold 20 million copies worldwide. It was just the beginning. Thriller followed in 1982, still the best-selling album in human history. Over 100 million copies sold worldwide. 8 Grammy wins in a single night, a record that still stands. Michael Jackson broke every record that had ever been set in music, all because in 1975, a 16-year-old boy said enough. He didn't want Motown's machine anymore. He wanted to be himself, and himself turned out to be the greatest entertainer who ever lived. Motown made him a star, but Epic Records made him a legend.
Keep on.